Welcome to Section 420, Talking Yankees, the podcast. Well, Anthony Rizzo stays in pinstripes, as I kind of hinted in the previous episode. Kind of restructuring his deal, signing a new 2-year deal with the New York Yankees. So kind of give you the layout. So it'll pay him $17 million per year for the next 2 years. And then in 2025, the Yankees have an option to either pick up a third year at $17 million or just buy him out at $6 million, say goodbye, pack your bags, and go somewhere else. So overall, good deal for the Yankees, and kind of break it down a little bit. But before we get there, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. A lot of good stuff. Kind of check up and down the screen there. You'll see the recent interview with the call to the bullpen. A couple of guys from that podcast kind of talked about this and some Aaron Judge and other subjects. So a lot of good stuff there, and a lot of good stuff coming up throughout the rest of this offseason. Of course, we're at this cusp of the MVP, at least the AL. Well, I guess they do them all on the same day. MVP. We'll find out who that is. Should be Aaron Judge, but let's see if Ohtani slips in the door. And, of course, I'll do a breakdown after that, just kind of give you my thoughts. But, again, most likely look like that. But we'll get back to the man of the hour, which is Anthony Rizzo, again, staying in pinstripes. Cashman kind of mentioned that, they kind of expected him to opt out of the deal he had in place. I mean, he could have stuck with the Yankees for another year for $16 million, but it didn't make sense when, he put up some decent numbers. So figured he'd get something along. And now I'm kind of surprised it's only really a 2-year deal. Again, with possibly a third of an option there. He might have, maybe could have gotten 4 or 5 years somewhere else possibly. But, I can understand the situation. He's 33 years old right now. I don't know if someone's going to give him a 5-year deal. Maybe he could have gotten a 4-year deal out there. But, it seemed like he wanted to stay here. So, again, the Yankees kind of like, all right, we'll give you a couple more years. So let's throw away the old contract. Let's do a new contract. So he'll at least be here through the 2024 season. And then, again, as long as he's healthy, which should be overall. I mean, I know he had some of the back issues this season. He played 130 games, and again, they had to sit him down a little bit in July and August. But overall, again, the time he's been here with the Yankees, overall been quite healthy. I think also, when they first brought him over, had a little COVID issue, but again, it's nothing really injury-wise. So it's a good deal for the Yankees. I think as a corner infielder there playing first base, he doesn't have to be the most athletic, guy jumping around a little bit. So even if he's like 34, 35 years old, I don't think that's terrible for the Yankees. Good eye at the plate. Again, he has a low batting average, but I think that might change a little bit just with the rules next year. No more shift where you could put 3 players on the right-hand side, plus like have another guy and like 2 guys out in the right field as well. So that should help with his batting average a little bit. So, and of course, it's definitely going to help Joey Gallo, but he's obviously gone a long time ago. So he'll be around for the Yankees. And this really, I think, the important crux, or I guess the best part of him coming back, I think that really signals that the Yankees are going to bring Aaron Judge back. I mean, there's been a couple of interviews ready with Hal. He has a really good feeling that they'll be able to retain Aaron Judge. They had some conversations, according to Hal, after the season, a lot of positives there. So, barring some insane deal by somebody else, just throwing money at the wall like that, it seems very likely that the Yankees are going to retain Judge. And I think just bringing back Rizzo this quickly, this early, I think is a kind of a signal to that. That's what the Yankees are looking to do. Just kind of, let's just say they're looking to kind of like break it down a little bit and sort of retool and revamp, and maybe, instead of giving a bunch of money to 2 players, hey, let's retool a little bit. Maybe we'll spread some money around, bring some other, have like 5 or 6, kind of smaller role players, make a little less money. That indicate maybe they're looking to go in a different direction, but I don't think that's the case. Judge should be back. Rizzo's back. And again, I just think those two go hand in hand. So we'll see who goes from there. Seeing some other big names out there, of course, Jacob deGrom. Again, kind of discusses with the guys from the Call to the Bullpen podcast. Again, go just look up the previous podcast from this episode. You'll see that full conversation with those guys. Looks like a lot of speculation with deGrom going to the Texas Rangers. Again, he's from Texas. Obviously, Texas go for a lot of money, but also Steve Cohen, he has a lot of purse strings as well. But if you look at deGrom's history with the Mets, yes, he came up with them, but they don't score any runs for him. I mean, it's kind of a shame. Obviously, going down to Texas, it's warmer weather. Maybe that's something he likes. Maybe he has more family down there. Again, he's getting a little older now, so maybe, as the guys from the podcast pointed out, as you get older, maybe your priorities change a little bit. You worry about, your family, stuff like that, and maybe you'd rather be down in Texas. So could possibly the Mets lose him. Would be interesting with the Yankees, even though when he's healthy, deGrom is definitely the best pitcher in baseball, no doubt about it. Definitely better than Cole. I'll even give him the edge on that one. But as we know, deGrom's always hurt there. So for the Yankees, I wouldn't want them touching him at all. I would not want a long-term commitment with him because, again, he's just always hurt. He's a great pitcher, but he's just always hurt, and it's just not worth the commitment there. So if he wants to go down to Texas, almost fine. Even though the Yankees have to play Texas about like 8 times a year. But, it's not a team that you expect the Yankees to see much. And Texas seems like a long way away. There's like 20 games under 500. even with DeGrom, they're still a ways away from competing. Again, they're out there in the West against the Houston Astros, and even though they picked up last season Simeon and Seager, they had for second base and shortstop. Even adding DeGrom, they still got a long ways to go. So it's almost like a waste of money for them. So, but again, take him away from the Mets and kind of take him out of New York, I wouldn't mind it at all. So if he wants to go down to Texas, good, have a good time there. But I wouldn't want the Yankees to look at him. So, and of course, another big name out there is Carlos Correa. Seems like indications that the Twins are getting ready to offering the biggest contract in the organization's history. You're also now hearing now the Cubs are starting to get into the little mix there. So Correa's probably going to get a lot of money, but doesn't seem like any chance that Cashman's going to be interested in him. Wasn't interested in him in last offseason. And again, Cashman kind of in that after the season ending press conference there indicated that they're looking at IKF as a placeholder there, and they're looking to the future, meaning Volpe there at shortstop. So I don't see any situation where they'll go after Correa, who, again, always, he's a great offensive player. He's young, he's only 28, 29 years old, but he did have some back issues, even back with Houston, and had some back issues as well last season with Minnesota. So I just wouldn't want to touch that at all. So if you're going to throw a lot of money at somebody, I'd rather be someone like Rizzo and or Judge, and out of someone like Correa or DeGrom, who are always hurt. So that's the latest little quick insert. So again, Rizzo back 2 years at least at $17 million, and then the third year, again, if he's healthy and both sides agree to it, they bring him back for another year at $16 million, or just buy him out at $6 million. Say, hey, here's $6 million. Go travel somewhere else. But nevertheless, happy to see Rizzo back. I think this makes the team good. He's good defensively, and it's just again, even though he came up as a Cub, he just seems like a perfect fit for the Yankee pinstripe. So great to have him back, and we'll do probably another little insert probably tomorrow or the next day, after we learn about the MVP finalists, and should be Aaron Judge, but nevertheless, let's see, Ohtani, again, with the stats he puts up as a pitcher as well as an offensive player, does that overshadow Judge? But I just can't see that just because Judge is something remarkable. Again, just, hitting the 62 home runs and getting a team into the postseason there. And even though they fell flat and got swept in the second round, at least got past the first round and, made a little bit of noise there, where Ohtani's like, doing great stuff, but for a team that's like 30 games under 500, it's just different pressure and different situation there. So Section 420, Talking Yankees. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If you're not already, it's exclusive for you podcast subscribers. Got a lot more off-season stuff coming up, so make sure you subscribe.